and even the voice started using the data network itself. So this was the second generation of data network evolved in this.
Sir, good morning, Dr. Narendra, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are you able to hear me, sir?
Yes, yes, yes.
Sir, your voice is breaking. That is one point. The other one is like, is it possible for you to switch to the slide mode, sir? Slideshow mode, sir?
So also please switch on your video, sir.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes,
No,
sir,
sir.
you're audible, but your voice is breaking off in between, sir. And please switch on to the slideshow mode, sir. Hello. Signal. Participants, I think there is a signal problem with sir. We will just try to resolve it. Please bear up with us.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Sir, please switch to slideshow mode, sir.
Please switch to
Slideshow, sir. Your PPT, please go into slideshow mode, sir.
okay.
Sir, and kindly switch on.
So basically, the mobility matured enough to provide communication for the human community. Then, as it matured, the next level of demand was for things to communicate with one another in without any human intervention. This is what was foreseen as the Internet of Things, where all the other inherent internal communication standards had matured enough to look at the future scope of communication
Excuse
where
me,
the
sir.
new dimensionality.
Sorry for
Hello,
interrupting. Can you please switch on the video, sir?
switch on the video.
Yes, sir. We can't see you, sir.
So basically, Internet of Things aims at a massive scale of heterogeneous, interoperable, and context-aware network of things, which helps in application development and to accomplish certain goals for business applications or enterprises. In order to leverage the complete imaginary views of IoT, cloud happens to be one of supplementary technologies. So basically, IoT cloud platform in light of is seen as one of a promising technology which would work together to achieve certain tasks. If you look at this issue of uh, disease prediction, which was actually used with IoT and cloud systems to accomplish it. So when we go by the definition, basically, IoT is defined as a global infrastructure for the information society, enabling a model for enabling ubiquitous, convenient, on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources such as networks, servers, storage, application and services that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. There are a minimum of 49 IoT cloud platforms as of now, which is being used globally, out of which around 25 we would be discussing today. Look at the pros and cons of each of it so that you are able to understand and estimate on what would best fit for your application solution. Transportation and actually management. When we look at as enablement of ubiquitous, convenient on set of configurable computing resources. Or service provider interaction that leverage the need and heterogeneous connectivity issues of the user-centric things in well-defined fashion. So effectively, if you see in layman terms, IoT is about automating things. Use things as a service and pay for that service. So you tend to combine both of this. Which facilitate in making automated decisions in the IoT domain. So basically that is one of the definition, and another definition without the cost and complexity of acquiring and managing is evolving interoperable information and communication technologies through enablement of in order to use it. So basically cloud is one technology which is able you can even relinquish it upon future non-use of resources. And also it helps you with minimal management effort because cloud would be automatically managed by the outside entity. These are some of device management, then system management, then we'll look at heterogeneity management, then the data management. If analytics is your primary goal, then you are supposed to look at the IoT cloud platforms that have been proposed in analytics, deployment management, monitoring management, visualization, and research. So basically, these are all different applications. So effectively, KAA is one of the application development platforms. It is an open source multi-purpose middleware IoT platform which can be used for building smart, connected, and end-to-end IoT solutions. It facilitates data exchange among the attached devices, data analytics, visualization, and IoT cloud services. Capturing of device specifications, performing device provisioning, configuration, enabling cross-device communication, and allowing distributed firmware update are some of the core functionalities provided by KA or KAA. It also provides with backend functionality to operate large-scale IoT solutions comprising data security, consistency, interoperability, and data management with help of software development. Ten KB of RAM and 40 KB of ROM. Basically, SDK collects data endpoints, delivers configuration profiles, and enables messaging across endpoints. Data storage is done with NoSQL databases like Cassandra, Hadoop, and MongoDB. So some of the strengths or pros of Ka are support for NoSQL and big data applications. The drawback of Ka is less hardware modules supported. It doesn't support more hardwares relatively. Under application development, actually, we have one more platform called as Carriots. Basically, Carriots envisages helping anyone to build applications for the IoT very quickly by saving time, cost, alarms, and data export. It supports RESTful API for to enable captured data to get derived into device, asset, group, service, project, stream, rule, and it also provides you with email, SMS, Twitter, and other supports. Carriot also stores in NoSQL database, which helps in big data applicability. The advantage or the strength of Carriot the disadvantage is it's complex enough and not so user friendly. Tembu is another application development the over and coding of hardware and software, resulting in less time to develop and commercialize an IoT product into the market. It supports more than 90 inbuilt libraries called Choreos. Some of the very common Choreos are Yahoo Weather, Amazon Cloud, eBay product shopping, Flickr photo management, Facebook Graph API, Google Analytics, Twitter microblogging, PayPal payment, Uber vehicle confirmation, and many more. Basically, Choreos gives us the ability to chain many Choreos together creating powerful workflows that cover a lot of ground on vast live applications and private location aware implementations. Basically, it also helps developer to visually configure hardware to trigger and response of online processes, save inputs to serve, conserve RAM basically, and it also helps in filtering the data as per the need. So basically these are some of the functionality that is provided by enough with the examples that I told. You can actually achieve a lot of things. The disadvantage is it's not suitable for resource intensive applications. So these are the three application management domain specific ones which we saw. Now we'll look at device management platforms. The first one we see under device management platform is C-Control IoT. Basically, it is a sole product as a service modeled enterprise IoT cloud platform that is specialized at device messaging and management. The sensor data visualization, analytics, and complete workflow monitoring are done by C-Control. Basically, these are some of the things that it supports. Open API based pull-push architecture is the strength of C-Control IoT. You can also perform product modeling with physical things, business grouping, and events using Nexus TM engine to transform raw data into valuable information, basically. Centralized and complex firmware distribution network facility is another viable component that it's able to support. The advantages of see-through IoT is the pull-push architecture that it's able to come with. In order for device management, basically pull-push is considered to be the most efficient architecture. In terms of user interface and visualization, it doesn't meet the expectations. Sensor Cloud is another device management platform, which is another private IoT cloud that provides platform as a service, which can be used to acquire, visualize, monitor, and analyze the data received from large microstrains wired and wireless sensors. So effectively, with this, you can understand that Sensor Cloud is a platform which is specially designed for sensors, which is developed with this firm. It also helps us to leverage powerful cloud computing facilities like data scalability, rapid visualization, and user program analysis. And these are some of the facilities that it supports with Open Data API. It also provides a RESTful API that allows any device or application to upload data to its secure cloud that is so the advantages of sensor cloud is or sensors of a specific firm. So open source sensors or devices are not being supported by sensor cloud. Etherios is another device management platform. Okay. Which supports a comprehensive suite of products and services for the connected enterprises. Its device cloud is designed on PaaS model to enable user groups for connecting any product and gain real-time visibility into their assets. It helps monitor and control all connected devices from a single interface in real time. Basically, Etherios is a proprietary one. In order to encourage the use of it, they are able to give it for use free, in which you can connect only up to 5 devices for a span of 30 days. After that, you are supposed for devices and third-party software is enabled. And also developers are restricted by a set of devices. It's not a platform which is able to support a wide range of open source devices. Basically, Xively is another device management platform. It is an enterprise IoT cloud service developed by Gravity Cloud Technology. It employs IoT as a service, basically, instead of being a more custom-based classic cloud-based service models. It uses public cloud. It's able to support data archiving, conditional triggering, real-time device provisioning and activation, message management, routing. It's able to provide you with an interface for of Xively is it's easy to integrate with devices. The disadvantage is notification services are minimally present. So effectively, if you need automatic notification, which is pretty real time, then actually no point in trying to use Xively. you can explore with other options. So those were the two device management platforms that we discussed. Then we have system management platform. ILAS IoT Cloud Fabric is one of the system management platform. It is based upon enterprise class platform as a service model. It's able to support agile mobile application development base. Like many others, basically RESTful API is a very powerful support that now has become a very common need among all of the IoT cloud platforms. So as you could see, RESTful API support is being provided by many of the platforms. Small scale developers because of the cost involved. The things.io is another very predominantly used system management platform, which provides a complete back-end solution for IoT markers and IoT app developers through an easy and flexible API. Things.io is basically hardware agnostics and allows to connect any device that is capable or is being provisioned with HTTP, WebSockets, multi-queue telemetric transport, that is MQTT, or constrained application protocol. I hope you would have already learned about MQTT, COAP, and other classic IoT protocols. It's able to even support real-time rule-based jobs, which can be monitored easily, and also helps in developing end-to-end connectivity among the devices by leveraging device management, monitorization, and analytical support. It also provides with real-time data storage facilities. The cloud that over which this is being installed is actually Amazon AWS cloud. Okay, so some of the advantages of this the disadvantages or limitation of this platform that helps manufacturers bring connected products to market. It's with the real-time data visualization and analytics support to the users. Basically, it is a hosted server-based system which is enabled with web service APIs. It's able to support lightweight and flexible backend uh, conjugated with UDP, HTTP, JSON, RPC. It supports a wide range of development kits like Arduino, Microchip, TI, Renesas, prototype boards. Basically, all these are supported over the Exosite platform. Some of the functionality and creating portals, dashboard widgets, easier. The disadvantage is big data provisioning is Exosite. So after, these are the two system management
I will particularly recommend to terminate. I don't want these guys.
that
Need some responsible guys there to be there.
then we'll look at some of the platforms that which enables major heterogeneous brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, and First Alert to connect users' products. Arrayant Connect Cloud is a IoT operating system that leverages software as a service model, basically, and helps in hosting all virtualized devices through over-the-air firmware upgrade in low data latency rate. So basically, if as you would be already knowing, your set-top box of the of your TV gets updated whenever there is a firmware upgrade that happens, which is automatically provisioned. Similarly, even your fridge and other devices can undergo firmware upgrade provided the platform by which it is connected is able to support that feature. So Arrayant Connect TM is a platform that is being used by Whirlpool and other big players of domestic appliances, which is able to support this over the air firmware upgrades or updates. with low data latency. It's also actually secure, reliable, and supports scalable data to be retrieved, processed, and delivered in a more optimum way. It supports cross-platform computing from 8-bit microcontroller to 32-bit processors. It also supports email and SMS alerts to be sent to the customers with iOS and Android based push notifications. So these are the this is a very promising platform if you really wish to try out home automation system and things like that. The advantage of this platform is its flexibility to use. The disadvantage is it doesn't support trigger based services. So moving on to the next heterogeneity management platform, Open Remote. This is another open source IoT middleware solution basically, which allows user to integrate any device protocol design using available resources like IoT, Android, or web browsers. It uses Open Remote's cloud service. A user can actually design tools for developing completely customized solutions that may leverage to integrate a variety of protocols from Wi-Fi to Zigbee. But actually it's relatively costlier. Development of an application over this Open Remote costs around 150 to 375 euros. So the advantage of this platform is it supports open cloud service. The disadvantage is it's not very cost effective for developers. Then moving on to the data management platform basically. Related operations and activities to provide in-depth knowledge to users about current scenario. Basically, if data is your primary focus, then these platforms will help you to make the best use. Its mission is to empower companies to tap into the IoT for development of new revenue streams through improved customer satisfaction and enhanced potential values received as data streams from remote devices. Basically, Arcasa follows a platform as a service model to formulate a single enterprise management for efficient and optimized data management services by integrating machine data streams with the available CRM, ERP, big data, and other analytics systems. It also, the strength of this is enterprise enabled design is being supported. The disadvantage of it is the interface as well as the visualization apps are not mature enough. Axeda is another data management platform, which is an IoT based platform designed for managing the connected products and machines while implementing IoT and M2M applications. Axeda is meant to transform machine data into valuable knowledge insights. It also helps to integrate machine data with other applications and systems to optimize business processes. The cloud platform of Axeda comprises of full spectrum of inbuilt development provisioning and configuration. It's able to provide application service integration, framework, data management. Some of the functionalities that are supported by Axeda are asset tracking, monitoring, passing alerts and notification, and data provisioning and configuration. The advantage of Axeda is M2M based data management. The disadvantage of or the challenge of Axeda is lack in self-sustenance. This is very prominent and very widely used data management platform, Oracle IoT Cloud. Basically, it is a combination of open, insight, secure, and accelerate basically. Insight in the sense harvests the business value of IoT device, IoT data. Secure it's able to actually development is relatively faster. Basically, productive and predictive and big data analytics makes this platform increasingly it's also able to provide you with several solutions like Oracle Java Embedded Suite, Java Card, database, and event processing to meet the requirements for devices. This platform is actually ideal for testing and deployment of IoT devices. The advantage of this is it supports database. The lack of it is open source devices connectivity is pretty limited. Nimbits is another data management platform, which is a hybrid cloud server solving the edge computing. It's able to filter noise, runs rules, and pushes important data onto the cloud servers. Nimbits is able to allow developers to build integrated, highly scalable, and highly available clusters for data logging needs. It runs on Google App Engine, Amazon EC2, Ubuntu Linux. Get to access the history of a data point, and it supports Arduino platforms.
எந்த இதுவுமே நான் பார்த்துப்பேன். எக்ஸாம்ஸ் நான் பார்க்குறேன். எல்லாம் எல்லா வாட்டியும் போன வாட்டி மட்டும் என்ன பண்ணாரு, அவர் தான் போட்டாரு.
ரியல் டைம் query processing.
அப்படியா?
ThingWorks is another data management platform which is popular for data-driven decision-making private cloud. It provides with M2M and IoT-based infrastructure as a service. It's able to is able to achieve something like that, where the developer need not have to worry much about the coding. Supports mobile interfaces. And event-driven execution engine is also being supported by ThingWorks. Data normalization, protocol translation, device ingress, egress, platform. ThingWorks basically supports Intel developed IoT hardware platforms inherently. So the advantage of this ThingWorks is data intensive application can be easily built. The disadvantage of it is limited number of devices can be attached. It doesn't support scalability in terms of the number of devices. Then when we look at analytics management platform, there is something called as a Infobright, which is it leverages enterprises by providing its analytical schema knowledge grid architecture, which actually empowers businesses to store, analyze, and act upon pile of machine-generated data while paving the communication paths among leading business intelligence platforms. Infobright actually is equipped with distributed query and load performance engines capable for loading terabytes of data basically. It's also able to support data compression to the range of 10:1 to 40:1. So it's able to handle very big amount of data and also data compression. The advantage of this model or the strength of this model is knowledge grid architecture and big data processing. The disadvantage of this model is lack of statistical services. Jasper Control Center basically is another analytics management platform. Which is actually highly configurable and customizable to suit user specific operational needs, business models, and requirements across all industries and around the world. This Jasper Control Center basically automates and controls the connected devices to analyze behavioral patterns and performance through real-time monitoring. Role-based configuration of automated activation processes helps in defining the service alerts and campaign events to incorporate the maintenance of full network for segmentation and segmentation purposes. This Jasper Control Center is actually being used in domains such as manufacturing, security, home automation, commercial transportation, retails. It's able to support MQTT, COAP, and customized APIs in the application layer of Jasper. The advantage of the Jasper Control Center is rule-based behavior patterns that it supports. The disadvantage is it's not very suitable for automation. Platforms that come under deployment management. Deployment management basically emphasizes upon planning, design, building, testing, and deploying new software and hardware components in the live environment. So basically, this platform helps you to do these tasks. It also helps you to maintain integrity of live environment by deploying correct releases. Echelon is a prominent platform for deployment management. It is industrial Internet of Things based cloud platform with a full suite resources comprising microchips, protocol stacks, hardware modules, communication interfaces, and management software packages for development of devices in peer-to-peer communities and applications. Industrial strengthening, reliability, support for legacy-based evolution, and security mandates. The advantage of this platform is it's able to map with the industrial perspective. The disadvantage is it lacks development scenario for beginners. So going ahead, we have Cloud is a cloud platform for collecting, managing, and analyzing sensor data for IoT and M2M applications. It helps user applications through a seamless scalability towards millions of devices while ensuring reliability, security, and time series data associatively. It is delivered as a platform as a service, which offers pay as you grow basically. It's able to support QoAP and MQTT protocols. The advantage of this Air Cloud platform is scalable M2M. It's actually scalable in which millions of devices are able to be supported. The disadvantage is it's not very user friendly for developers. ThingSpeak is another open IoT data platform based on public cloud technology. Of third-party platforms, including leading IoT platforms such as Arduino, Twilio, Twitter, ThingHTTP, MATLAB. It's able to actually connect all these platforms. Sensor data is collected into each channel that has 8 fields, which can hold any type of data, 3 location fields and 1 status field. Various apps like time control, tweet control, react, talkback is able to improve the reaction measures, which are basically actuating controllers. The advantage of ThingSpeak is it enables public cloud with triggering facility. It's not able to support the amount of devices as Air Cloud does. Next is visualization management, in which you wish to graphically see the output of the information that is got. Plotly is a cloud servers. It's also able to support Python, R, MATLAB, and Julia based APIs. The advantage is it's the best visualization tool that it supports. The disadvantage is limited amount of storage facility. Grow Streams is another visualization management tool, which provides you with drag drop facility, which is able to support customizable emails, SMS, and HTTP call notifications. It's able to, the advantage of it is seamless event monitoring. Disadvantage is it doesn't support statistical services. This is the last domain of IoT platforms, research management platform. Microsoft Research Lab of Things is one very prominently used research and deployment of use case studies. It's able to, it's well suited for home automation. IoT is another research management platform, which is it supports single sign-on for all the cloud logins. It's able to support Hadoop governed IBM Analytics, geospatial analytics. It helps to manage, update, diagnostics, observation, monitoring. The advantage of it is device identity is enabled because of the identity as a service support. The disadvantage is it's difficult for application prototyping. So we have discussed as much as around 9 domains. IoT of a use case scenario with its own advantages and disadvantages. If you have any queries, you can kindly ask. 10 different domains with one or two IoT platforms.
Sir, this is Dr. N.S. Gauri Ganesh. Uh, so you had actually taken this all the domains as given here in this present slide, according to the application development, device management, and all those things. And
Yeah.
you had really had gone into the depth level of all this related cloud and IoT management. Very nicely you had given, sir. And also you had linked with the big data also. So how the cloud can take this as a supplementary data management also. Mm, is very nice giving, sir. So any I think you may be probably covering about the research issues in your next afternoon session also.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay, sir. Okay, sir. Mm,
As
in
you
the-
told, we will be discussing about the challenges, and we will also be discussing about the research perspectives with respect to IoT, cloud, and fog.
Okay, okay, sir. So any like for example, if we have a stream of data coming in, sir. So any specific arrangement is taken care in the cloud side also, sir, other than the big data arrangement. I think we had discussed about the Apache Storm and Spark and all those things, sir. Any specific arrangement is there in the cloud side also, sir, for the stream data stream arrangements? Because as we all know that IoT will be actually giving a stream of data. Is there any specific arrangement is required at the cloud and also, sir?
Cloud actually is an abstraction layer to which you are able to redirect your data towards. What is the internal data structure used? That's actually irrelevant to the end users. And also cloud services which are provided by the proprietary vendors don't really disclose the internal arrangement, which can inherently be a
Okay, sir. So, any question from the audience, you can post it in the chat, or else you can ask the sir also. Shilpa ma'am or Navya ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, you have stated so many frameworks which can be utilized with IoT. Actually, I have an experience in Python. So, is there any opportunity with is there any framework available in Python with which we can utilize that in order to just exemplify this?
We discussed a particular model which is able to support Python, but first you need to decide upon what is the application emphasis upon which you wish to do.
Okay.
Okay, only upon that you can decide upon what platform to use, not based upon a language. See, it's like this. If your emphasis is on analytics, there are platforms which are available for that. There are APIs which supports you to connect with your Python module.
Okay. Okay. And that means it will depend upon the type of application that we are going to generate.
The last one, that is APIs to connect with REST API, Python package, and also IZOT mission, which basically means that your primary goal first should be upon the emphasis on the application.
Like basically, I was desirous of creating an end-to-end application in Python, which could be deployed on the web and which was connected through some
Supposed to look
sensor
at
network.
it than the other way around. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it was fine, sir. Actually, I was interested in creating an end-to-end application in Python, which could be deployed on web, and that could have a connectivity with some IoT sensor network.
See,
That's why I
sir,
was.
if you wish to do end-to-end development, then actually these platforms wouldn't be of much use. These platforms we are using so that we can inherently use these platforms and just take care of the platforms. End-to-end development, actually we can go ahead with doing it on our own, which would be pretty elaborate and time consuming, which may not be is that fine, sir?
It's okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dear participants, any other queries? Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful presentation. With your permission, I would like to announce the lunch break, sir.
Yes, yes, madam, please go
Dear
ahead.
participants, let's take a lunch break for 1 hour and we'll log in back by 1:30 sharp. So that's much more to listen from sir in the afternoon session. So please join back by 1:30 sharp. Thank you.